You know what's funny about the night that changed my entire life? I almost didn't get up. I was lying in my bed, the small room off the kitchen that Mr. Vance let me use, and I heard this sound, the garage door, that mechanical rumble that echoes through the whole house. It was 2:17 a.m., and I thought, maybe he's going to the hospital. Maybe Mrs. Vance is sick again. I almost rolled over and went back to sleep, but something felt wrong. I got up, walked to my window, and I looked down at the driveway. Mr. Richard Vance, billionaire, real estate developer, the man who owned half of Miami's luxury waterfront, was loading something into the back of his Range Rover. Something heavy, something rolled up in his expensive Persian carpet from the study. He was alone, struggling with this bundle, and then, God help me, I can still see it. A hand fell out, small, pale, gold bracelet on the wrist catching the driveway light. I knew that bracelet. I'd seen Gabriella wear it every single day. My breath stopped. My whole body went cold, and then Mr. Vance looked up, directly at my window. Our eyes met. 3 seconds. But in those 3 seconds, we both knew. He knew I saw. I knew I'd just become a problem. My phone buzzed. A text. From Mr. Vance. Maria, did I wake you? Just taking some old carpet to the dump. Go back to sleep. My hands were trembling. I sleep, Mr. Vance. I not hear nothing. I sent it, and I sat on my floor until sunrise, knowing that everything had just changed. My name is Maria Elena Reyes. I'm 52 years old. I'm from El Salvador. And for 8 years, I cleaned Richard Vance's house. I came to the United States in 2008. I had a 6-year-old daughter, Sophia. Her father was killed by gangs back home. I took Sophia and I ran. For years, I worked everywhere. Restaurants, hotels, 3 jobs, living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 5 other women. Sophia sleeping on a mattress on the floor. I wanted better for her. A woman at church told me about a job, a family looking for a live-in housekeeper. Good pay, private room. They didn't ask about immigration status. The interview was strange. Mrs. Vance looked at me like she was inspecting a car she might buy. You live here 6 days a week, Sundays off, $600 a week cash. I almost cried. That was more than all 3 of my jobs combined. My husband values discretion, Maria. What happens in this house stays in this house. Understood? Yes. Ma'am. The house was unbelievable. 8 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms, a pool like a resort. My own room with a lock on the door. I cried that first night from relief. Mr. Vance seemed normal, polite, never inappropriate. He'd leave cash tips, 100 here, 200 there. He seemed like a decent man. That's the thing people don't understand about monsters. They don't look like monsters. They smile, they say thank you, they pay you on time. And then one night, you see what they really are. I first saw Gabriella maybe 6 months after I started working there. I was cleaning the study and I heard laughing. Young laughing. I looked out the window and saw her by the pool. Beautiful. Mid-20s. Long dark hair. Wearing a bikini. Mr. Vance was laughing with her. Mrs. Vance was in New York. I understood immediately. He's having an affair. But Gabriella was different. She saw me in the kitchen. Hi, I'm Gabriella. You must be Maria. She switched to Spanish. ¿Eres de El Salvador? Sí, I said, shocked. My grandmother is from Honduras. I love meeting other Central Americans here. She talked to me like a person, not like the maid. She asked about my daughter, my family. She told me about her job at an art gallery. My father is Richard's business partner, actually. That's how we met. My stomach dropped. She's his business partner's daughter. Over the next year, Gabriella came around more, always when Mrs. Vance was travelling, and every time, Gabriella treated me with kindness. She'd help carry groceries. When Sophia got accepted to university, Gabriella literally hugged me. Maria, that's amazing. Mr. Vance gave me a raise. $750 a week. For your daughter's future, he said. See, monster who says nice things. Then things changed. Early 2023, February. Gabriella came over and she looked different, glowing. I was dusting and she put her hand on her stomach. Just a small gesture, but I knew. She's pregnant. Our eyes met, and she knew that I knew. Maria, can I tell you something? Of course. I'm going to have a baby. She was crying. I haven't told Richard yet. I'm scared. But Maria, I'm keeping this baby. I held her hand. You're going to be a good mother. I'm telling him tonight. That night I served them dinner. Then I stayed in the kitchen, close enough to hear. I heard her say it. Richard, I'm pregnant. Silence. Long, terrible silence. Then his voice. Cold. You're joking. No, I'm 12 weeks. You're going to get rid of it. Tomorrow. I'll pay for it. I'm keeping my baby. Gabriella, listen to me very carefully. I am not leaving my wife. I am not destroying my reputation. And I am sure as hell not raising a bastard child with my business partner's daughter. What about what this does to me? I thought you loved me. Get out. What? Get out of my house. Gabriella walked through the kitchen, tears streaming. She didn't look at me. The front door slammed. Mr. Vance saw me. Maria, did you hear that? I nodded. He stared at me. What happens in this house? Stays in this house. I know, Mr. Vance. That was 3 days before I saw him loading the carpet. The morning after that night, I had to serve him breakfast. I barely slept. I spent the whole night shaking, trying to figure out what to do. He came into the kitchen at 7 a.m. exactly. Dressed in a suit. Perfect. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Mr. Vance. Did you sleep well? Yes, sir. He sat down, started eating like it was any other day. Then he looked up. Maria, you look tired. Take a few days off. Visit your daughter. My blood went cold. I'm fine, Mr. Vance. I insist. Take the rest of the week. Paid. It wasn't a suggestion. It was a test. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Vance. He smiled. You're a good employee, Maria. Loyal. I appreciate that. I stood there thinking, he killed her. And he's going to kill me too if I'm not careful. I didn't take the days off. I stayed. Because leaving would have been suspicious. Gabriella's car was gone by noon. 4 days later, Mrs. Vance came home. Maria, have you seen my husband's study carpet? The Persian one? My heart stopped. No. Mom. 2 weeks later, it was on the news. Breaking news. A young Miami woman has been reported missing. 24-year-old Gabriela Torres was last seen 3 weeks ago. There she was, Gabriela's face on the screen, and then her father. He looked destroyed. Please, he said, voice breaking, if anyone has seen my daughter, please call. She's my only child. I thought I was going to throw up. Mr. Vance walked in, saw the TV. Terrible, he said. I hope they find her. He said it looking right at me. The police came the next day, 2 detectives. They interviewed everyone. They asked me, did you ever see Gabriela Torres at this residence? I should have said yes. But I looked at Mr. Vance standing in the doorway, and I thought about Sophia and deportation. And I lied. No. I don't know her. The detective didn't believe me. If you remember something, here's my card. Detective James Morrison, Homicide Division. That night, Mr. Vance gave me an envelope. Cash. 5,000 $. For your loyalty, Maria. This is for Sophia's college. Blood money. I took it. Because I needed it. Because Sophia's tuition was due. Because I didn't have papers, and I was scared. I took the money, and I hated myself. But I didn't stop there. I started searching the house when Mr. Vance was at work. I found Gabriella's phone behind the water heater in the laundry room. The battery was dead. I took it, hid it in my room. Then, I started documenting everything. Receipts in his office trash, industrial cleaning supplies, heavy-duty garbage bags. I took photos of everything. I started keeping a journal, in Spanish. Everything I'd seen. The 2 a.m. carpet loading, the hand, the bracelet, the phone call about the baby. I wrote it all down and hid it at church. Because if something happened to me, someone would find it eventually. Weeks passed, then months. The investigation went cold. Her father kept doing press conferences, but nobody paid attention. Just another missing woman. And I kept cleaning Mr. Vance's house. Every morning I made his eggs. I smiled. I said, "Yes, sir." And I hated him. Mrs. Vance started asking questions. We were folding laundry and she said, "Maria, that girl Gabriella used to come here when I was traveling. She knew about the affair. I think Richard did something to her." My heart was pounding. "Why don't you go to the police?" She laughed, bitter. "And say what? I have no proof. And Richard would destroy me in the divorce. I'd get nothing." So she knew, and she was going to do nothing. 3 months after Gabriella disappeared, Mr. Vance started getting paranoid. "Maria, your daughter, she's at university now, right?" "Yes, sir." "And you send money to family in El Salvador?" "Yes, sir." "Must be hard, being undocumented, always worried about ICE." He was threatening me. "I'm legal, Mr. Vance." He smiled. "Of course. I just mean, it must be scary. Immigration enforcement. Raids." He was reminding me. "I could make a phone call. You'd be gone in 24 hours. That's when I started recording him. I kept my phone in my apron pocket, recording whenever I was cleaning near him. I got him talking about that whole situation with Marcus's daughter. He said, "These young girls, they're reckless. She probably ran off with some boyfriend." Another day, I heard him on the phone. "No, I told you, it's handled. She's not going to be a problem, because I dealt with the situation. There's no body, there's no case." He was talking to Gabriella's father. I recorded it all. But living with this secret was destroying me. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I lost 15 pounds. Every time I saw Gabriella's father on TV begging for information, I felt like I was going to collapse. I was complicit. The breaking point came in October. I was cleaning Mr. Vance's office and I saw papers on his desk, immigration documents, with my name on them. Maria Elena Reyes. Suspected immigration violation, request for investigation by ICE. He was building a deportation case against me, just in case I ever became a problem. That's when I knew I was running out of time. If I didn't act now, I'd either be deported or dead. I went to my church that Sunday, sat in the confession booth. Father Miguel asked, "What troubles you, my child?" "I know something terrible and I'm afraid to speak." "Maria," he said gently, "God doesn't call us to comfort. He calls us to courage. But what if I'm not brave enough?" "Then you ask him for strength, and you do the right thing anyway." Monday morning, I called the number. Detective Morrison. "Detective, this is Maria Reyes. I lied to you. About Gabriela Torres. I'd like to meet with you. I have information." "When?" "Today. Now. Before I lose my nerve." I met him at a coffee shop. I brought everything. Gabriela's phone, my journal, photos, my recordings, and I told him everything. The 2 a.m. carpet loading, the hand with the bracelet, the fight about the pregnancy, the threats, everything. I talked for 3 hours. When I finished, he looked at me. "Ms. Reyes, do you understand the risk you're taking?" "Yes. He's going to come after you with everything he has." "I know. Why now?" I thought about Gabriella, about her father, about Sophia. Because I looked at my daughter and realized if something happened to her, I would want someone to speak up, even if it cost them everything. He nodded. "We're going to get a warrant. We need you as a witness." "When?" 48 hours. 2 days. I had to go back and pretend everything was normal for 2 more days. Tuesday night, Mr. Vance called me into his study. "Maria, I've been thinking. I'm hiring a new housekeeping service. You've worked hard. You deserve a break." He was firing me. "When?" "End of the month." He was getting rid of me. I texted Detective Morrison. "He's firing me." He texted back, "We're moving up the timeline tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. At 5:30 a.m., I heard cars in the driveway. Police, FBI, unmarked vans. Mr. Vance was in the hallway in his bathrobe. "What the hell is going on?" Pounding on the front door. "FBI, we have a warrant." He looked at me, and he knew. "You," he whispered. The door burst open. "Richard Vance, you're under arrest for the murder of Gabriela Torres." They cuffed him. He was screaming. "This is insane. This is a setup." He looked at me. Pure hatred. "You're dead, Maria. You hear me?" They dragged him out. Detective Morrison walked up to me. "You're going into protective custody. Right now. Pack a bag." That was 4 months ago. I testified before a grand jury. They indicted him. I'm in witness protection now. Different state. Different name. Sophia graduated. My baby graduated college. I couldn't go to the ceremony. Too dangerous. But she FaceTimed me. I cried the entire time. Richard Vance's trial started 3 weeks ago. His lawyers are good. They're arguing I made everything up. That I'm a disgruntled, illegal immigrant trying to extort a rich man. But they can't destroy the evidence. Gabriela's phone. Deleted texts. Him demanding she get an abortion. The carpet fibers. Blood in his Range Rover. Gabriela's blood. My recordings. His voice. I dealt with the situation. And my testimony. I sat on that stand for 6 hours. "Ms. Reyes, you're not a legal resident, are you?" "No." "You were being paid under the table, in cash. That's illegal, isn't it?" "Yes." "So you're a criminal. I'm a mother trying to survive." "You have a lot to gain from this testimony, don't you?" "I have everything to lose. I lost my home, my community. I'm in hiding because your client threatened to kill me." "You expect this jury to believe my client murdered his business partner's daughter over a pregnancy?" "Yes, because I saw him do it," the jury was crying. Gabriela's father testified too. Marcus Torres looked at me in the courthouse hallway. "Ms. Reyes, I'm so sorry." He started crying. "You gave me my daughter back," he said. "Not alive. But I know what happened now. I can bury her." He hugged me. "You risked everything. For a girl you barely knew." "She was kind to me," I said. "She treated me like a person." They found Gabriela's body 3 weeks into the investigation. Richard had dumped her in the Everglades, weighted down in a canal, wrapped in that carpet, blunt force trauma to the skull. He'd hit her with something heavy, and Marcus Torres got to bury his daughter. The verdict came down 2 days ago. Guilty. First-degree murder. Life in prison without parole. Marcus Torres called me. "Maria, we won. The prosecutor said your testimony was the key. Without you, they wouldn't have had a case. You saved other women. If he'd gotten away with this, he would have done it again." "I'm eligible for a U visa now. It leads to a green card. Eventually citizenship. You'll be legal, Ms. Reyes. You and your daughter." Sophia cried when I told her. "Mama, you can come home?" People ask me, "Do you regret it? Coming forward?" And here's my answer. No. Yes, I lost almost everything. My home, my job, my community. But I gained something too. I can look at myself in the mirror now. For months I knew what he did. I knew he murdered a pregnant 24-year-old girl. And I said nothing. That guilt was eating me alive. But I did give the truth eventually. And yes, it cost me everything. But silence would have cost me more. It would have cost me my soul. Gabriela Torres was 24 years old when she died. She was 8 weeks pregnant with a baby girl. She treated her father's housekeeper, me, like a human being. And Richard Vance killed her because she was an inconvenience, because he thought he could get away with it, because he thought no one was watching. But someone was. I was. The maid, the invisible woman. I was watching, and I remembered everything. Richard Vance is in a maximum security prison in Florida. He'll die there. Gabriela Torres is buried in a cemetery in Coral Gables. Marcus Torres visits every week. I'm in a small apartment somewhere in America starting over, and Sophia is building her life proud of her mother. Was it worth it? Every single day I wake up and I can breathe. Because I'm not carrying that secret anymore. I'm not lying. I'm not taking blood money. I'm not complicit. I'm free. And that's worth everything I lost. If you ever find yourself where I was, where you know something terrible, where speaking up might cost you everything, speak up anyway, because your voice matters. Even if you're just the maid.
Richard Vance thought Maria was invisible. He thought her silence could be bought. He was wrong. Maria found her voice, and now we're finding ours. This channel exists for the Gabriellas, who can no longer speak, and the Marias who risk everything to tell the truth. We are currently pushing toward 5,000 subscribers to prove that there is an audience for the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it is. And when we hit that milestone, I'm dropping the darkest story I've ever written. If you want to stand with the invisible people who see everything and ensure these stories never stay buried, join us. Subscribe to Billionaire Exposed episodes and help us hit that milestone. Next, we go behind the tinted windows of the ultra-wealthy. The story of a private driver who realized his boss's business trips were actually a human trafficking front. Whose voice should we amplify next? The bodyguards? The private chefs? The night nurses? Tell me in the comments. Until then, stay vigilant.